Today, we're going to be talking about when people call bands sellouts. And more specifically, the crazy amount of people that seem to have no idea what the word actually means. Sellout. Informal. A person who betrays a cause, organisation, or the like. Traitor. Traitor. You gotta have a good reason for calling someone a traitor. Just head into the comments section of any artist that's changed up their style over the past few years and you'll find people throwing the word around. And it's for all kinds of musicians. Bring Me the Horizon. Beyonce. Blink-182. Wait, are they all beginning with B? Oh, Metallica. They were cool. Muse. Michael Bolton. Vampire Weekend. The Weekend. Weekend? The Weeknd. Incubus, Radiohead, Kanye, there's no one is safe. I just want to clarify, if a band you like puts something out that you hate, by all means miss their old stuff. That is fine. Like if every time you went round to your friend's house they had this adorable cat, and then you went round there and they just suddenly had this inferior cat, you're gonna be like, where's the adorable cat? This cat isn't as fluffy and snuffly and it dribbles when it's happy. Gross. I'm not sure what my point was. I think I just don't like my cat. No one's gonna blame you for mourning the loss of the sound you love. Hell, even Kanye misses the old Kanye. Oh, there's verified commentary on his lyrics for this one. What do you have to say about your song, I Love Kanye, Kanye? I just thought about what I loved. Insightful. But the second you go from I hate this to they're sellouts, they should stick to their old sound, do you know where you are? Okay, Google. Where are they?
Douchebagland.
You're in douchebagland. Now don't get me wrong, I've been in your shoes. The really big ones that are like 200 pounds. I've been mad about this since before you were born. Hell, I've been mad about this since before I was born. I was furious when Zayn left One Direction and went mainstream instead of sticking to his underground roots. I got mad when Justin Timberlake ditched the ramen hair, you know what I'm saying? You know, it feels unnatural, I won't say that. I was fuming when Stravinsky experimented with dissonant chords in his 1913 composition, The Rite of Spring. Stick to Russian folk music, Stravinsky, where you belong. I got so angry when David Attenborough started narrating documentaries in colour. What, you think you got a boat named after you? You're special? I don't know if this is gonna be funny, it just feels loud. I was angry at all of those things. Trust me, I get it. Seriously though, I was one of those people when I was younger. For me, it was Linkin Park. I idolised Linkin Park. It was the heaviest sound I'd heard at the time. Mike Shinoda's rapping was so freaking cool. I found all the unreleased demos on obscure websites. I bought all the merch. I had the posters. He was up there on my wall looking down at me while I slept. And then they dropped the album Minutes to Midnight. And you want to know what happened to my expectations? I wanted more new metal to sate my teenage angst. And you know what I got? I got freaking Valentine's Day! On a Valentine's Day. On a Valentine's Day. On a Valentine's Day. I wanted screaming. I wanted rapping. I wanted that specific synth sound. I wanted 12 more songs of exactly that. But you know what I got? Down-tempo, subtle rock. And some good songs. Well, that kind of spoils the narrative a bit. And as a result of all this, I said some things. I said they shouldn't go back to their old sound. I said they aren't Linkin Park anymore. I wore those self-aggrandizing novelty t-shirts, often about grammar. I was one of those nerds. But it wasn't until I grew up that I started to get it. What if they ran out of angst? Or more likely, what if they got sick of making the same format of song after 10 years? Just because an artist wants to change up their style doesn't mean they hate their fans. If you ask the majority of musicians, they will probably tell you that they're doing it for self-expression. Except for a lot of the rappers, maybe. Although they're expressing their true desire to get bitches. Also keep in mind that for a lot of these artists being deemed sellouts, they aren't even going to profit from the change. They know it's going to cost them a lot of their fan base. But when you're that sick of doing the same thing, it's either that or taking a trip to Switzerland, if you catch my drift. Euthanasia's legal in Switzerland, that was the joke. Just because you make a new genre doesn't mean you're going to make more money. Hell, I've made over 50 genres, and where's my mansion? Where's my Tesla? Where's my rooftop? Where's my rooftop? Where's my rooftop jacuzzi? I should have Arab money by now. You just gotta remember those artists are still people. They get bored like everyone else. But you still get those people furiously typing away on their keyboards. You know, the ones next to the guitar that they bought and played 3 times before giving up. And they'll be saying things like, oh, this is such a slap in the face. They should go back to their old sound. This isn't even them anymore. I was here since their first album. I bought all their merch and now they do this to me? It's not about you. They don't owe you anything. Either you hadn't considered that the musician that betrayed you did so for their own mental well-being, or you're just an ass. And you know, these are the same people who will say they hate mainstream music. You know what a musician pressured to make music to what the majority of people expect from them looks like? The pop industry. Oh, that's some irony. If they carried on making the music that they'd lost interest in long ago, just so they can make money off their fan base, that would be selling out. Even if a band goes super poppy, if they're genuinely excited about the challenge of writing a mass-appealing song, why does that make them a sellout? Isn't that being true to themselves? Unless a band specifically says, yeah guys, we're never gonna stop making death bagpipe metal, and builds their audience under that pretense, then transitioning to a poppier style of music does not make them a sellout. But it's not just this side of the argument that has its extremists. You have people on the other side who are like, what, you don't like a song they made? What, you don't like a song they made? Real fans love everything they make. You were never a real fan. Which is a bloody ridiculous statement. Bloody. Not everyone enjoys every style. It's okay to not like new material. Just because you don't immediately love everything an artist releases doesn't reduce how much you respect them. Saying someone is not a real fan is delegitimizing how much they care about that artist. At the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, at the southern end of the Mariana Trench, lies an indentation called the Challenger Deep. It's 10,898 meters down and takes over 2 hours to descend in the most advanced submarines humankind has developed. Our music tastes go way deeper than that. Submarines. For some reason, music is one of those things that drills down into our core. That's why musicians are some of the most famous people in the world. So for a lot of people, questioning their dedication to an artist is like insulting their innermost feelings. It's understandable you'd be upset if an artist you like makes an album you don't like. If you're expecting one genre of music, of course it's going to be a shock if you hear something totally different. I don't know if I'm alone here, but I've literally had the thought when listening to some songs, I'd probably like this if it was from a different artist. And that's so freaking illogical. But it's not illogical. Context matters when it comes to music. The packaging has a psychological effect. As a wise man once said, imagine you go to take a drink of water and you find out it's vodka. There are two types of people in this situation. Those who take the sip and then spit it out and they're just confused and frustrated. And the people who after the initial shock think, oh, okay. Sometimes it takes a while to appreciate a new style of music. We've all had that song where initially we hate it and then cut to a week later and we can't stop playing it over and over and over. But people care so freaking much. I could insult their family, their religion, that stupid cat from earlier, and they wouldn't care about any of that. But the second you bring up that maybe there was a reason that that band changed, no! They're my favourite band and I will hate them till the day I die. Look man, just enjoy bands for what they are. If their style changes, give it a chance, and then if you don't like it, you can find another band. There's loads of bands out there, like 100, or maybe even more than that. So don't blame a musician for wanting to experiment. They made some of your favourite music. Give them a break and let them explore. When I think about all the things I said about Linkin Park, I never gave their new stuff a chance. I just said mean things. I didn't think about how they felt. I'm sorry. Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park. Hi. I am so sorry I said all those mean things about you.
You said mean things?
The point is, you can make whatever genre of music you want. It doesn't matter that all the people on the internet call you sellouts.
They say that?
Yeah, like all the time, all over the place. For like a decade.